Hi guys! So if you've been looking at high-end gaming PCs lately, you've probably noticed something interesting happening. They're not just getting faster, they're getting smarter, louder in specs, and honestly, a little bit ridiculous in the best way possible. And this one right here, the MSI Infinite RS AI 2 MBZ9-1290 US, sits right at that extreme end of the spectrum. Now, the first thing you notice isn't even performance, it's presence. This is a full tower desktop that immediately tells you it's not trying to be subtle. It's built for one thing, absolute performance without compromise. You set it on your desk or under it, and it just kind of becomes the center of the setup, whether you plan for it or not. Inside, this machine is packing next-gen hardware aimed at pushing top-tier gaming, streaming, and heavy creative workloads all at once. We're talking about configuration designed to handle 4K gaming, high refresh rate esports titles, real-time ray tracing, and even demanding AI-assisted workloads without breaking a sweat. And that's really the theme here. Headroom, a lot of it. When you boot it up, everything feels instant. Windows loads fast, apps snap open, and games don't just run, they fly. There's no hesitation in anything, and that's usually the first sign you're dealing with more power than most people actually need. But that's kind of the point of a system like this. Gaming performance is where this thing really stretches its legs. Modern AAA titles at ultra settings, ray tracing turned on, and still maintaining smooth, consistent frame rates. Not just playable, but genuinely fluid in a way that makes you notice when you go back to anything weaker. And if you're the kind of player who cares about competitive edge, high refresh 1440p gaming is basically effortless here. But what's interesting is how quiet it can stay under load, considering what's happening inside. MSI's cooling design on this Infinite RS series is clearly focused on sustained performance rather than just short bursts. So instead of that loud ramp-up you sometimes get with high-end systems, this one tries to maintain a more controlled thermal profile, even when you're pushing it hard. Now let's talk about the AI part of the name, because that's where things start to shift from just raw power to something more adaptive. The system is designed to optimize performance dynamically, balancing power usage, thermals, and workload distribution depending on what you're doing. So if you're gaming, streaming, or rendering, it's constantly adjusting the background to keep things smooth without you needing to touch anything. And honestly, that's becoming the direction of high-end PCs now. Less manual tweaking, more intelligent optimization. You don't really think about clock speeds or fan curves anymore. You just use a machine and it figures itself out. Design-wise, it's still very much a gaming PC, but it's more refined than the old aggressive RGB-heavy towers from a few years ago. There's lighting, sure, but it's controlled. It feels more like a performance workstation that happens to game at an elite level, rather than a neon centerpiece trying to shout at you. Connectivity is another area where this machine doesn't hold back. You got plenty of high-speed ports, support for modern peripherals, fast storage options, and expansion headroom that makes it future-friendly in a way most pre-builds don't really prioritize. That matters more than people think, because a system like this isn't something you replace every year. It's something you build around and keep evolving. Now, real talk, this is not a casual purchase. This is a high-end desktop aimed at people who already know they need performance. Gamers pushing high refresh 4K setups, streamers running multitasking workloads, creators working with heavy video timelines, 3D rendering, or anyone who just wants a machine that doesn't say no to anything they throw at it. But here's the interesting part. Systems like this used to feel like overkill in every sense. And in some ways, it still is, but software is catching up. Games are getting heavier. Creators are working with larger files. AI tools are becoming part of daily workflows. So that overkill label is shrinking faster than people expect. So the real question isn't whether this PC is powerful enough. It absolutely is. The question is whether you're in a place where that kind of power actually changes your experience. Because when you are, it's hard to go back. So yeah, the MSI Infinite RS AI doesn't try to reinvent the gaming PC. It just pushes the ceiling higher. More performance, more intelligence, more headroom than most people will ever fully use. But for the people who do use it, It's exactly the kind of machine that disappears in the background and just lets you work or play at full speed. If you're looking to check it out, you can find a link in the description. And yeah, that's pretty much it.